To it, you're just thinking to yourself, You are listening to WBZH 1370 The Buzz. I'm Suki. I'm your host of Suki Says, and I've got my guest on the line, and I am really uber stoked. Seriously, guys. She is the originator and the pretty little brain behind Project Toasty, and now if you did your homework like I told you to last week, you have Googled Toasty, and you know that it is an online interactive community, and it is all about sharing and expressing yourself and learning who you are and being proud of that and celebrating each other and celebrating your own self. And so I'm going to bring her on. Hi, Arielle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm really happy that you called me today.
Oh my, I'm happy. It's the first radio interview, so this is exciting for everybody.
Don't be nervous. You have a knack for expressing yourself, so I'm pretty sure we'll be all right.
Of course.
Now, first, you started out with your own thing, your own YouTube page doing uploads. Arielle is hamming.
Yeah, hamming, yeah, with the G.
So
where did cut off the last letter, of course, so.
Yeah. Where did that come from? Is because obviously people are like, well, she's a ham.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny too because I have a video about that. A lot of people didn't know like the origination, like how the word hamming like became. Some people thought it was my last name, and I'm saying like I've never heard of anyone having that as a last name. But it just means to be a camera ham. And I looked the word up on Urban Dictionary. The definitions, like one definition was throwing random pieces of bologna at houses and cars. I was like, where are people coming up with these definitions for this word? Another definition was like putting your butt in somebody's face and farting. Some of the definitions. So people, I don't know what they think my channel's about, but I'm assuming that once they watch the videos, they know that I'm just somebody who likes to have fun and talk about random things, talk about sex a lot, talk about ridiculous stories that have happened to me, and just anything really. But the reason I started video blogging was I was having a rough time in my life, and I just needed to remember how to laugh again. And I realized that just by being myself, I was helping other people feel comfortable in being themselves as well. So the whole idea of self-expression as a healer and a growing method really started to develop early on. But I didn't realize how powerful it could be until very recently, about a year ago.
I was going to say, it's been about a year since Project Toasty launched. You launched Project Toasty on YouTube, and you do weekly updates, and you give people, basically it's homework, but it's fun homework.
Well, no, Project Toasty launched 3 months ago. The idea, I had the idea for it last April, but I didn't actually, I needed time to think about it, and I needed time for personal life stuff, so I took a few months off from the idea of it, and I came back with a clear head and really started to develop the idea, and I spoke to a lot of the viewers on my main channel. And because I wanted this from the beginning to not be like a sole proprietor kind of thing, I wanted it to be a family, which is what it is, and I wanted everybody to come together and to be a part of it together, which is why it's so solid. It's not one person dictating what everything has to be. It's, well, what do you think about this thing? Okay, do you like it? Let's do that then. Do you not like this? Okay, well then we'll change it. Anything can be changed at any time, and that's the beauty of it. You have to be fully open to change at any time, because different kinds of people are going to come onto the channel, and they're going to want to do different things, and maybe what I think isn't the best idea. Maybe they have a better idea than I do, and who the hell am I to not want to be open to that, you know?
Yeah, it's reciprocal. I like it, which is what I'm seeing. So you can go to the Facebook page if it's facebook.com/Project Toasty. Mm-hmm. Where did Toasty come from?
Toasty, actually the word, it's actually from Mortal Kombat. Like years ago I played Mortal Kombat. And when you kill somebody in the game, this little guy, still I have no idea who this guy is, he comes out of the side and goes, Toasty! Toasty! He does, yeah. So,
oh my god, my friends...
Remember that.
That happens when my friend gets a text message.
Does it really?
I'm not even kidding you.
Oh my god, that's the best thing.
I used to play Mortal Kombat. Was that the one with the stump, that you could be a stump? Or was that
that was the one where you can punch him and uppercut, and he goes into the I don't know if it's slime or whatever it is, and it's like I guess it's acid.
It might be.
And he dies in the acid, and it goes Toasty.
Yep.
It's my favorite thing in the world. But it actually originated in a blog TV session, which is a live show. and a girl named Paige, this girl Paige, her name was Paige is Toasty. And I'm like, oh my god, that reminds me of Mortal Kombat. So then I needed like a comment section at the end of my videos, and I was like, well, I really don't know how to respond well to compliments, because I'm always kind of awkward, like, oh, you're so pretty, and I'm like, oh, yeah, thank you, like, I don't know how, so, like,
your
I
face
just
is cool,
came up with
too.
the idea. Yeah. So, and then I came up with the idea of having a Toasty section, and Toasty sort of became a meme, meaning weird, funny, sexy, awesome kind of thing. It's like all those words together, and it's like maybe the really weird comments that I got from that week, the really sexual, flirty comments, and just a random thing, like, or a funny, really funny comment. And it just became this meme, but going back to Project Toasty and why I named Project Toasty that, we came up with the name together. Like I said, from the very beginning, I made sure the viewers, and I can't even call them viewers because they're participants and they're part of the family. We came up with the name together. The reason I think it works really well is because think of the idea of toast. You can eat it when you're sick. It's comfy, a comfortable feeling. And our talk, like we 100% like we welcome everybody, but generally most people on YouTube are younger, in the high school age range, and that's when you are changing the most, in my opinion. I mean, you change your whole life. It's a constant growing phase, which is good, because if you're not changing, in my opinion, you're not growing. But most people come on the channel are 13 to 18 years old, and they're in high school, and they're going through the weird phase, so they, in a sense, they're like a piece of white toast, I mean, you can be whole wheat if you want to, but just picture a piece of white toast, because you can tell the burn marks and stuff like that on it more than the other ones. So you go in, and you're innocent, and you're a white piece of toast, and 4 years later, you come out, and you're like, have all these markings on you, and maybe you're scarred, quote, scarred for life for some weird experience you had in high school.
High school will do that to people.
Yeah, and you come out a completely different person than you went in. So that's another idea of why I think that works well as a title. Plus, it's just, like, fun sounding, like Project Toasty. It's like, woo, I don't know. It sounds fun to me. And, a lot of organizations have kind of more serious sounding titles, I guess, and I didn't want that, because just because something is important doesn't mean it has to be serious. It should be fun and uplifting,
I take fun very seriously. I am serious about having fun. Like, when I'm like, I'm going to have fun, it is fun.
Right. And that's how it should be, People, like, especially with kids coming out, and we're not LGBT only, we're LGBT friendly, but especially with kids coming out of the closet and stuff like that, it's already difficult. So making it fun, like, I would rather have somebody come up to me and be fun about it than be serious about it. Like, a kid comes to you, or a kid doesn't have to be a kid either, but generally it's kids, more now, which is good because they're coming out earlier. That's great. And, it's like, oh, it's okay to be gay. You're going to have a hard life, maybe, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Go dance in the streets. Like, put on a tutu. Get some nice shoes. Like, you like platform heels? If you're flamboyant, maybe you like that. Or maybe, I don't know, like, what do you like? What do you want to do? It doesn't have to be a serious thing. It's like, but for some reason, like, everybody makes it that way. And I feel like it makes it more difficult for them to accept themselves. Make it not as big of a deal, because it's not a big deal. That's my thing.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that it's, now everybody has either they don't remember the horror stories, or they really do remember the horror stories of going through high school and going through those changing years and all that. And that sense of having a family is exactly what I like about Project Toasty, is it doesn't really matter who you are or what you want to be or what you're going to be. You're all going to be something, and as long as you're something together and you love that something, it's great. It's whatever, do your thing. And so that's what I love about you call them projects. Now explain the weekly projects.
Each weekly project, it varies depending on what we want to talk about. Generally, though, I pick the topics, and it varies from, we did 1 week about sex and how, maybe if you're a girl, it doesn't mean you have to pay for the date. If you're a girl, it doesn't mean you have to feel like you have to be the feminine person in the relationship. Maybe the guy wants to be treated like a queen for a day. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
So we talked about that kind of stuff.
It's all right either way.
Yeah, why not? Like, what's wrong with it? I don't see anything wrong with it, because there isn't. And they all feel the same way, and they're all loving and accepting, and that's exactly, like, you can't grow a loving relationship out of hating something. And that goes for hating people that you don't like as well. Hating people that are against you. You know, like
anything.
Anti-bullying. Like, go ahead, go and hate the bully. Where is that going to get you? Nowhere. So, I'm like, bullies come to me, and I guarantee you're going to want to, you'll be more inclined to do something with Project Toasty than go on an anti-bullying page and feel so ridiculously neglected on that page, because, like, what's the point? What does that do? I don't know. And, like, one project that I always talk about, because it's my favorite one still, was the first project that we did, and it was a parody of Bloom Raiders. You remember the show Bloom Raiders on MTV years ago?
Yeah, and I watched your parody, like, a couple weeks ago.
And it's funny, because, okay, like, you have all these things in your room, and what does that tell you about yourself? It tells you a lot about yourself. I have travel books. I have pieces of artwork everywhere. You know what's funny, too, is, like, I chose the Project Toasty colors, and then afterwards, well, actually, we all chose them together, like I said. But after we chose them, I realized that my room, like, is the same colors as Project Toasty. But I didn't even realize until afterwards, and I was like, to the T. It's like the purple, the blue, and yellow, and black and white. Like, perfectly. Perfect match.
It was like it was meant to be.
What?
Meant to be.
It was. I mean, the one pillowcase I bought all the way from India. It took like 4 weeks to get here, but I'm like an Etsy fanatic. I go on Etsy and buy original pieces of artwork all the time, so I love that stuff.
Eclectic. I like that.
Yeah. So the project, the first week of the project was to get to know each other. It was show me who you are, using 15 items found in your room. So what that made people do is realize, well, what do I want to show them? Like, what am I choosing to show people? And then you're choosing to show people who you are the whole time. People don't realize that. And good or bad, doesn't matter as long as you're being yourself, because the right people that come along are going to accept you for your good and bad qualities, quote, good and bad qualities, because that's all a matter of how you view things anyway. So it made them look at themselves in a physical, outside of body way. You know, like, what energy am I giving off? What am I attracting into my life? Am I attracting negative things everywhere? Are there, like, pictures of my ex-girlfriend laying around everywhere, or my ex-boyfriend? Or is my room, like, a complete disaster? Is it not clean? And, you know, so this whole, like, you don't have to be a neat freak by any means, but it does tell you a lot about a person. And I like to teach them how to view themselves and others in other ways that they're not used to, because those are the ways that are most important. Words can only say so much. You know, it's about what you don't say that does the most, quote, damage or helps you the most as well, you know?
When you keep things in, that usually leads to some sort of, I don't know, I'm not going to say sadness, but keeping things in is probably the antithesis of what Project Toasty is about.
Exactly.
So
my thing is, like, it's okay to feel like crap, but it's not okay to continue to feel that way. Everyone has bad moments in their life, and everyone's going to go through stuff, but you have to realize that there's an outlet out there for everybody. You just have to figure out what it is. That's why I like doing all these different types of challenges, because it opens their minds and their hearts and their spirits in completely different ways that they wouldn't have thought of before. And some of them do think of them, because some of them give me the ideas. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. Some of them are like, we should do this. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. We'll do that next week or whatever, you know? So they all know that they're a part of it from the very beginning.
I like it.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, I want you to, because there are people that aren't aware of Project Toasty yet. I mean, I don't know where they've been hiding. I think it's great, so I always tell people about it. But for those who haven't, they have no idea, they're just listening to this interview, what do you want them to take away from the interview that will get them to go to Project Toasty, or what can they expect when they browse the videos and the projects?
What can they take away from this interview? They can take away whatever they want. That's the point. If they like the way it sounds, they should check it out. And if they don't like the way it sounds, then I don't want you on the page anyway. I want you to be positive and have a positive outlook on life and what we do. And so far, it's been working out great. We haven't attracted anyone that hasn't liked it. And that's because we're positive people and attract more positive people that want to help and want to be involved.
I have noticed that. I haven't seen a single troll, and that's fantastic.
Nope. Not one.
Awesome.
Yep. And what was the other question you asked?
What do you want? Well, what can people expect
What can people expect? They can expect, honestly, just ridiculousness. Because we talk about, like, this week we talked about cartoons and Pokemon. So how ridiculous is that for a 25-year-old person like me to talk about Pokemon? Don't make fun of me. I still have all my toys. I will never get rid of them. I love my toys.
I still play the original one, like, on my Game Boy Color.
Oh my god, I had the purple see-through Game Boy Color, and I was obsessed with it as a kid.
I was that dork that got every single one of the Pokemon up to 100 level. Every single one
that
I owned.
I don't think I was that obsessed. I think you beat me there.
Dang. Okay.
I was really good with the cards, though.
Oh, I couldn't do the cards.
Beat you there.
I couldn't do the cards. I don't know. I wasn't good at it.
I had a great fire deck. Charmander and Charizard were my babies. Love them.
All right, well, I'm going to play you some Spin Doctors, and thank you again, Arielle, for calling me and talking to me. I'm a big fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And everyone else that's listening, I'm sure the Project Toasty fans, some people are listening. I posted it to our page.
There are people on my Facebook right now blowing it up going, I love her, tell her we love her.
Are they really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Like 6 people just Facebook chatted me, tell her I love her, tell her I love her.
Awesome.
So thank you, and you take care and be safe.
Yes, you too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
That was Arielle of Project Toasty, and she wanted to hear some Spin Doctors, so I'm going to play More Than She Knows, going out to Arielle.